Hey, what's up everybody? It's your boy Abdul, aka the Somalian Juice Man. Back at it again with another one. This is really just a trial test because your boy is tall as fuck and I'm trying to find a right height for myself. So we'll see. If you wanted to call this a New Year's resolution video come late for 2021, you can call it that. But really this is more of a public service announcement. If you haven't already decided to take action in creating the YouTube channel that you've always wanted to make since 11th grade in English class, if you haven't already decided to make moves onto finally talking to that girl that you've been seeing at the gym, who you know is feeling you, but you're too much of a bitch to say something, if you haven't already today have decided to take your self-care approach and drink some succulent water, excuse me, the list goes on, but if you have not already decided to take action on the things that you said you were gonna do, you watching this video, I'm here to tell you straight up. It is time for you to do it! Just do it! And I'll put it this way, because if you don't do it, don't expect somebody else to do it for you. Now, something that I have discovered by observing myself and looking into how people operate, and it's that we tend to rationalize things that we do that are considered irrational. So something along the lines of, for example, would be, say you wanted to get more physically active and you wanted to get into more shape. Well, based on the current lifestyle that you have, it propagates the willingness and the desire to think about it, considering that you're living a not so active and sedentary lifestyle. So that would push you towards thinking and moving towards doing the things that you want to do to be more physically active, to be more in shape, more strong. So like setting up a gym appointment or a membership, if you will. But then you come into the picture as you're about to make these moves and you say to yourself, I don't know if I should. I think that the membership might be a bit too expensive. I don't know if I have enough time. I don't know this. What if my ex shows up at my local gym that I go to? I heard he goes to this gym. I heard she goes to this gym. I heard they go to this gym, blah, 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 stuff like that. And again, it goes back to this idea of rationalizing the irrational thoughts. And this is not to demonize the whole thing of us having irrational thoughts, and I think it's something that's pretty normal, but it's allowing those irrational thoughts to self-sabotage the momentum that we are progressively building up to changing up our lifestyle and making new habits and experiencing different experiences going forward. Something else too, and it's this concept and it's this deep-rooted fear of rejection. Whether it be from a significant other, whether it be from a job opportunity, and whether it be rejection of certain feelings and emotions that you wish to be reciprocated towards you. So those are typical things that I usually see and usually anticipate how people would rationalize sabotaging themselves from doing things that they've always wanted to do deep down, but they always put themselves in a cycle, in a spiral of them saying, oh, I wish I could do this, I wish I could do that, but you can't. That's the thing, you can do it. It's just that you are getting in your own way, and I've been guilty of this, and I've been coming to terms with me, recognizing when I do and owning up to it and making sure that I do what I say that I'm gonna do and embrace the feeling of uncomfortableness, if you will, and just go with it. Since I feel like that's part of the reason why we tend to get in the way of our own progress is the feeling of rejection, which can also be associated with this uncomfortable feeling that comes with it, with guilt and shame. And just the act of doing something different in and of itself can be very uncomfortable for some people, depending on what the specific thing is. It's great that we as people or conscious and cognizant of our own our existence, if you will. Have these aspirations, these dreams, and these desires and goals, and wanting to experience different things, because ultimately, in my opinion, I believe one of the main reasons why we have been sent down here is to have the ultimate holistic human experience. And depending on how you've come about, you may want to ultimately have your experiences surrounding a specific area, but part of what I've noticed within myself and other people is that we like to branch out to different types of experiences that other people have spent a majority of their lives in, to really enrich our own perspectives and to really entice our own palette of experiences, if you will. Trying not to repeat the word experience so many times. I feel like I might just overuse that word. That's beside the point. But it's cool. But an issue that does come up from my observation within myself in particular is that whenever I wish to embark in a new journey or a new experience or a specific goal that was not something that I have considered within the past year, and I begin working out the mechanics and the processes going into it, it's fine in the beginning. You know, you think about like your P's and Q's. You think about, okay, what is it specifically that I want to do in a quantifiable sense, and through what duration would you like to complete this type of goal, and how would you like to integrate this into your lifestyle? So all that part in and of itself is pretty dandy. I love that type of stuff. But then what gets a little bit tricky is the actual execution and the implementation of the plan that you have set out initially coming into this own venture. So to make it more tangible, I would say one of the most common things that a lot of people tend to struggle with is integrating a new routine with fitness and in health. And that could mean, instead of not working out at all, that can mean working out three times in a week, or instead of doing powerlifting, trying out calisthenics. You kind of start strong in the beginning, but then you tend to realize that like it's not as typical as your previous routines and habits that you were used to, and it gets a little bit draining. And then eventually you kind of taper off. But part of you wants to experience it, but really it's not really taking the time to embrace that new habit coming into it, because I feel like with all the things that we've come to accustomed to, they were things that were initially unfamiliar with us and possibly uncomfortable after a certain point, but we stuck through with it, and eventually it became something that was second nature. So to bring it back home, one of the reasons I believe that a lot of people tend to get stuck this particular part of the process of executing certain things is, I like to call it, rationalizing the irrational. So some excuses that people might make as to why they might not want to start working out, or why they might not start being more sociable and talking to that new girl at the gym, or that guy at the supermarket or the coffee shop that you frequent to, would be that it's a range of different experiences, but they could be things from like, oh, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, what if they say no, what if I get shamed, you know, what if I get embarrassed, what if it's not the right time? And we come up with these blanket statements and these irrational thoughts kind of come to us in the middle of us about to take that leap, and it comes right before when we're about to transform our experiences that I talked about initially, and it really puts a hold in our momentum, and it kind of stumps us in our groove. And I would like to say that like the best thing for us to do is to not listen to those voices, because they're just voices in your head, and they're just interpretations and certain ideas of you experiencing things that are rather different and somewhat uncomfortable. And here's the truth. I'm gonna be 100% honest with people who are consistent with this line of thinking. And it's this. To those who say that I don't have enough money, to those who say I don't have enough time, to those who say, what if they say no? To those who say, what if it's not the right time? Let me ask you this. You say you don't have enough money for this certain situation, but depending on your situation, right? I'm not gonna really generalize too much. You have enough money to pay for your expenses, you have enough money to pay for your bills, you have enough money to pay for certain hobbies and certain types of self-care activities, if you will. So I think it's really about prioritizing what you would like to put into your life at that moment. You say that, what if they say no to you? Well, let me ask you this. What if they say yes? I don't know. There could be that offset. Yes, rejection does happen a lot to people. Oftentimes whenever you're trying to relate with the the desired sex, that there will come a time, and there will come multiple times, where people will say no, or people will play games, or people will lead you on, or people will mislead you. So having that denial of you saying no to a possible new experience that you may be looking for, or experience that you didn't know that you probably would have been better off experiencing, could you have just gone off to say hello to that person? And to the question of, what if it's not the right time? Let me ask you this, when is it ever the right time? A lot of the opportunities that we see people take and optimize for their liking and become very successful in what they do and have enriching relationships and overall better lives, they had to create those opportunities. They didn't sit and passively wait for the right moment. A lot of opportunities that people take were moments that they have carved out for themselves, or took it whether they were ready or not. If you made it this far, I wanted to thank you guys for sticking around and watching this video. And if you haven't already, I want you to click the like button and to subscribe for more content like this and a variety of different types of content that I would love to introduce in this channel and different channels possibly, depending on the scope of the content that I would love to deliver. And yeah, if you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe. Catch you later. Be easy.